Okay, folks, let's look at Quiz Access Chapter 5, Problem 7, and see if we can work through this. Now, this one, it's got some data up here, plus you just pre-fill in the information and it calculates the ratios for you. So it should be pretty straightforward. But generally speaking, if you're having questions about what the numerators or denominators should be, you can go to the ebook, okay, and click on this, and it'll bring me over to what's over here. Actually, let's do that in full. So if you click on the ebook and you're having questions on that, you can go to this link, and it'll pull up this decision analysis. Same thing I just had up. Right, so inventory is cost of goods sold over average inventory, and day sales in inventory is ending inventory divided by cost of goods sold times 365. Now let's put this over here to the side, and then let's bring this over here as well. Okay, oops, let's close that up. All right, so now if we wanted to do this, we could just fill in numbers and whatnot, and that'd probably be okay. But let's just say that we don't really have it. Let's set this up so that it's a little bit easier for us. So let's copy this, and let's open up a new book, an Excel file, and see if we can actually get this to. I love my wonderful spreadsheets. Okay, let's bring this over here. Let's make it a little bit bigger, and let's paste this data in here as values. Okay, so now we have this. Now the problem in looking at this information, you get really confused really quick on what's what. So let's first move things to where they should be or could be. Yeah, actually, let's put these numbers. This is year 1, year 2 over here, right? And just looking for year 2 values. But let's take these values, cut them, and bring them down here. And let's do the same for this value right here. Cut and paste. And then let's bring this all together. We'll delete that so that we have these values in an easy to access location. We'll keep this one in between the both because it's used for both of them. Actually, let's just go ahead and move it down to about there. Okay, and we'll take this stuff out. All right, so now we have, oops, Control Z, delete. So now we have the information all together, LIFO, FIFO, right? So now if we wanted to do like calculations, right? So let's do, this is LIFO calcs, right? And we have current ratio, and we have inventory turnover, and we have days sales. Okay. Days sales in inventory. By the way, this is usually called DIO, days of inventory outstanding. And let's just go ahead and put what they have in there, numerator, denominator, so that we can just so current ratio is going to be assets over liabilities, right? So assets, current assets under LIFO is going to be that one. And current liabilities is going to be this one for year 2, right? So now if we do the ratio, we should be able to do that divided by that and get the number. Okay, so we can confirm that a little bit later on. On turnover, let's go back over to here, right here. Oh, did I close it? I must have closed it. Let's check to see if it opened it up on a different, there it is. Okay, so on turnover, right, cost of goods sold divided by average inventory. So cost of goods sold for LIFO, cost of goods sold divided by average inventory, because remember, cost of goods sold is for a full period of time, right? So beginning and ending kind of values. And so usually it's captured either as a monthly value or as an annual value. In this case, we're looking at an annual value. So your inventory value is a point in time, 350 and 300. So you actually have to average that in order to make it fairly representative. representative. So what we want to do is equal, you can do this a couple different ways. Let's just do a sum of these two numbers, okay, divided by 2. That'll give us the average, right? 325. So now if we do the ratio, it's going to be that divided by that. So it should be 286. Let's put these in just regular numbers. There we go. Okay. And then for day sales outstanding, we go back to here. Oh, where was that? Over here. There we go, right there. So that's going to be ending inventory for the year divided by cost of goods times 365. Now times 365 is going to be right over here. So we will we'll do that in the formula so that we don't have to do that necessarily with a separate cell. But ending inventory divided by cost of goods sold, right? So let's go back to our sheet here. Ending inventory is our numerator, right? And cost of goods sold plus is here. So we start off with that. So we're going to do this divided by this times 365. So we should have that. Now let's check our work, see if that is correct. Okay, so on here we should have 410 and 165. So it's a 2.5 to 1. This is 930 and this is 325. So it's a 2.9, same, okay. 350 and 930, and this is going to be a times 365 equals. Okay. So let's check our work, see if we got that right. And voila, we got that first right. Okay, so now we just have to do the same thing with the next set. So what I'd like to do is just go ahead and copy this. Now, theoretically, and this is theoretically, if we copy this down, the only thing that one cell down, it should pick up all these numbers. The only problem is going to be the current ratio is going to be wacky because it's right here. So let's go ahead and copy this, put it here. We're going to call these FIFO calcs, and we're going to have to fix the current ratio because now the numbers are wrong. So under FIFO, our numerator is going to be assets, right? So assets under FIFO, and our liabilities are still the same. Should be 165. So that should be work. This 480 should now be, yeah, that didn't quite work, did it? Okay, so all we have to do is just change it to inventory turnover. We're going to do cost of goods sold. Oops. Plus cost of goods sold divided by our average inventory. Let's just move this up here. There we go. I must have gotten that wrong somehow. Anyway, that then divided by 2 works out right. So now we should have 2.38. And day sales outstanding. Oops, I don't need help. That should be, let's look at this. Okay, so that should be inventory as well. Right, we're off one row divided by cost of goods sold and times 365 in the formula. So now if we do the same thing over here, let's see, return to question. We should be able to do 480, 165. And let's just see what the ratio comes up with. 2.9, we got that, okay. 885, 373 says 1 decimal place is required. That's interesting. Let's take this one. This is 1 decimal place. Okay, 370, come back here. 372 point, why isn't it doing it? Let's close that out. 372.5, there you go. And this is 420 and 885 times 365. Okay, so that should be that one, and we check our work. And we got everything right. So I've shown you, you could have just put the numbers in there if you knew the formulas and be just fine. But this is how you can scrape the information off to Excel, format a little bit, put it into a formula, and then run it. You know, if I had done this a little differently, I probably would have done this over on this side, so it would have been easier to just move the calculations. But that said, we worked through all that. You also have in the book where you can get those formulas and just double check that you get the right numerator and denominator. All right, hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions.